Well, it's Monday morning discussion already, and what I'm going to do, seeing I don't have any of my guys out, well I do, I have Lily out, who I will just show you if you can see her at all. Up near the plant you might be able to see her little head. She's up at her hangout spot. So I don't have any snakes out today, but I will be putting a clip over me talking of my son who was here earlier, and he was actually handling Jessie, and as you'll see, Matt loves my guys, is yeah, no fear, thinks they're fantastic, but doesn't quite get Jessie yet. So you'll see by the clip of how he goes actually handling him. So I'll start the clip basically at this particular point of my video. So we were going to discuss this week, and I'm gonna well, not that you can see me, I'll be continually watching for Lily while I'm doing this. But we were going to discuss making a decision on whether we get an older snake when we decide to get one, or whether we get an actual hatchling. And there's benefits actually to both. I don't have negative as such either way more than the other. I guess getting a hatchling, the bonus of that is that you do get to see it from the very start, care for it from the start, and spend that bonding time with that that guy. I think this is kind of blurring out on me a lot today, this video, but like I said, won't matter. But basically, that's the advantage of getting a hatchling. You are the person that cares for it, feeds it, makes sure it's safe and secure, and handles it so it gets to know you, knows your smell, etc. But the disadvantages are if you get one that's a bit of a problem feeder, and getting that guy to actually start feeding, making sure the environment that you do bring them home to is perfect for them, and so on. Whereas if you get an older snake, you know that it is feeding well, it is healthy. You can see the setup or the environment in which you're taking it from, and can have that duplicated pretty much at home. You might want to mix it up and do something slightly different. Maybe you have a basking light, not belly heat, or like me, you decide heat panels are a good thing to do, different hides, or you might put different substrate in. But an older snake will generally pretty much settle in quite quickly. You know, the normal standard, get them home, put them in, give them a feed. When they're due for a feed, let them settle in for a good week or so before you actually decide to bring that guy out and start handling it, or gal, whichever sex you decide to go with. So I have no idea when this video is going to clip back in, so you may see me going back and forwards checking on Lily, and you might be able to at some stage start seeing her venturing down from her spot up top there. So yeah, there are advantages and disadvantages. The disadvantage for the older snake is they can come with some, I would say, habits that you may not like, especially if they're defensive about their enclosure. You know, once you get them out, they're good, but getting them out they might be a little bit tricky, but generally for me that would be about the only behaviour that I would be concerned about. And if you're willing to put time in to nip that in the bud as well, sometimes they don't get out of it. Some snakes are just generally like that as well, so it's not necessarily because of the previous owner. So a little bit of the advantages and disadvantages. I did touch briefly on what you're going to need when you get them home and so forth, and I think I touched on, if you've got a bub or a hatchling, to give them a couple of feeds during the week. And when do you start handling them? Give them time to settle in, and even then offer them something to climb onto rather than you physically getting them out of that tub or enclosure, whatever you've got them in, when you get them home, preferably a tub, because babies do like little tubs, guys, but then they don't as they get bigger. So pretty much that's the start, getting that snake, and I'm watching Lily, used to you getting them out of the enclosure is the next step. So use a branch, a stick, something that they're happy to come out onto, and let them decide to come onto you then, not the other way around. And I think you'll find that you will not get a defensive snake about their enclosure, their territory. So make that pleasant and don't force them. And Lily's kind of going back up onto one of her hammocks again, so that's good. So that's a little bit more about that. And I'm going to deviate a little bit because you saw my video on, and I so pronounced that so terrible actually, but it's Rudra Morphology. That is how it is said. I was thinking our guys feel the same sorts of emotions as we do. And this particular person was saying dogs, cats, so bringing it all in and basically saying, they're primeval, that's what they are, and the basics need to be met and they're happy. And I do disagree with that completely. The need for it to exist, tubs, no environment set up for them that is similar to where they would be if they were out in the wild. No. I do think it's important as well, and more, well, not as well, it is important. End of story. And if you can provide that, provide it. We are talking about the quality of life, not the basic needs being met. We do that, but we're talking about the quality of their life in captivity. If they're out in the wild, of course all they're going to think about is safety, eating, mating, water, because they don't have a choice. It's life or death. These guys don't have to worry about life or death. They get it. We get fed, we've got water, we've got shelter, we're safe. They do not need to think like a wild caught or a wild snake. So there's a big difference. So my question this Monday is going to be, what is your take on that? Do you believe that their basic needs only need to be met? Or do you think it is important to give them quality of life as well? Lily's still good. She's still up there, and I'll swing this around just in case we're back onto filming, and you might be able to actually see her up there, which you probably can, I hope. So that's my question for next week. And I know it's off track because I'm going to get into heating and what to use and what I believe I like. May not be what you like, but what I like. And I will, of course, talk about all the other forms of heating up an enclosure as well. But my question this week to you is, do you believe a rack and tub system is acceptable? No big deal? Or do you believe allowing them to get out, explore, be handled, all of that stuff, exercise and so forth, is really how it should be for these captive kept animals, reptiles. So that's it for today, guys. So leave a comment so I can talk about it next week, and till then I'll say bye. Like, subscribe and share. Thanks.